Okay, we're back at it. Adventure Time, Fiona and Cake, Season 2, Episode 3, The Line of Embers. So this episode had to be one of the most nostalgic feeling episodes of Fiona and Cake thus far for me. I mean, in the beginning of the episode, there's a sequence of Fiona and Cake fighting Ice Queen, trying to save Flame Prince, and the animation and the fighting, and it just really reminded me of old school Adventure Time, season 1 Adventure Time, and even the original episodes of Fiona and Cake, where it was like this fantasy action story. But of course, then we get switched back to the actual Fiona and Cake series, which is more slice of life, and we see Fiona jogging. I guess she's late from work in this flashback scene, and she actually runs into Flame, DJ Flame. If you remember back in season 1 of Fiona and Cake, it's revealed that DJ Flame, who's named Felix, was dating Fiona, but broke up with her over text, which is just a nasty, dirty thing to do to someone. But throughout the course of this episode, they actually meet up again, kind of in the same way, where in the beginning, it's shown that Fiona kind of ran into Flame, but in the episode, when they have their reunion, it's the opposite. He runs into her, knocking her on the ground, and they kind of reconnect, and he invites her to the club so she can watch him perform his new hit song. And I love how douchey they make DJ Flame seem, at least to me. I mean, he just comes across as kind of a, egotistical, douchey kind of guy, but Fiona's still smitten with him. And I think that's another big theme in this episode, kind of the theme of toxic relationships, but also we get the contrast of a healthy relationship. I mean, there's a sequence in the episode where Fiona's on the phone with Queenie trying to buy the lot, and Queenie's being difficult, of course. She's saying it's going to cost $50,000 for them to pay for the lot, and they're all trying to put the money together. And LSP kind of tells Marshall Lee that, your mother's loaded. You come from a rich family. Why don't you just ask her for the money and pay for it? And obviously, we know that Marshall Lee does not have a good relationship with his mother at all. But LSP is, pushing the point. And just to back him up, we see Gary just toss the pillow on LSP's face and, just backing up his man. So we get that kind of positive reinforcement. We're shown a positive relationship with Marshall Lee and Gary Prince. And also when we see Marceline and Bubblegum, their positive relationship and how they're so close to each other now and how everything's developing, and the potential relationship between Cake and M-Cron also developing, which kind of gets ruined a little bit towards the middle of the episode when they go on their first date. Cake is really into M-Cron, that's obvious. I think they're really into each other. So that's a major thing in this series, is the developing relationship between M-Cron and Cake. But when they go to the club that Flame invited Fiona to, it kind of gets loud in the club, and you can tell M-Cron is just uncomfortable. And when Cake notices why they're actually there, when Cake sees Flame come out, she kind of gets the sense that, yeah, Fiona kind of tricked us into coming here because she wanted to reconnect with Flame. And Cake, being a good friend, is trying to give her that advice. Listen, it didn't really work out before. It wasn't healthy, and she doesn't think it's going to be healthy now. And she's letting her know this is a bad idea. And they end up getting into a little bit of an argument. M-Cron leaves because it's too loud, he's uncomfortable. Cake, seeing the text message that he sent her, runs after him. And Fiona gets her dreams crushed, her hopes crushed, when she realizes that Flame has a new girlfriend that looks eerily similar to her, and he's making out with her, and Fiona's just distraught, starts drinking, ends up getting wasted, leaves the club. She's stumbling into the park, runs into Hunter, which I want to give a special shout out to Hunter. I really feel like this character is so relatable in so many ways. Even Fiona in this episode is very relatable, but I'll get into that in a second. But for me, Hunter just being this reasonable, nice guy, it just is so relatable for me. Everything about that character, even when Fiona tries to, make a move on Hunter because, she's intoxicated, in a vulnerable state, kind of feeling lonely, he pushes her back and he reassures her hey, listen, I like you, but you're drunk right now. You're not thinking clearly. And it kind of embarrasses her a bit, and especially the fact that he's being nice about it, I think makes it even worse for her in a weird way. So she runs right back home, and she's just so distraught and lonely. And I really feel like as an adult watching this series, it's so relatable. If you've ever felt alone, or if you ever felt like somebody was into you, but then you had to realize that you kind of were making those signs up in your head, or even that person might have been leading you on. It's hard to deal with that level of rejection, especially when you're really into someone. And Fionna, in this situation, she feels like she saved the world, yet nothing's going right for her. She loses the sweet spot. She loses this relationship that she thought she was going to have with DJ Flame. In this episode, she also feels like she kind of ruined any potential relationship with Hunter with her actions, and she's trying to apologize to Cake because they got into a little spat. So Fionna's just really down in the dumps, and I really felt bad for her. She grabs the plant. Another big part of this episode is the plant where Huntress Wizard is growing into. Fionna grabs that plant and she's in tears and she's holding on to the plant, and she just says, like, she saved the world, she feels like a loser, and she can't even keep this plant alive. Man, that hits so hard when you're at rock bottom and it feels like everything is against you and everything is just getting worse. It was a terrible day for Fionna, terrible night. I felt so bad for her. And speaking of the plant, Huntress Wizard is like dying of thirst. Throughout this episode, we see Huntress trying to grab some water from the leaky ceiling in Fionna's place because she's, a plant that's shriveling up and dying. And we also get some, otherworldly cosmic sequence when she's talking to Spirit Warrior, and he's giving her this vague, very poetic advice, and she's just lost. And another aspect of this, going back to the whole theme of relationships, again, a positive relationship here with Huntress doing everything she can to save Finn because of her love for Finn. She's going through so much right now, so you love to see it, especially if you're a fan of Fintress, Huntress Wizard and Finn. You love to see it. You love to see the effort she's putting into it. Finn also got taken to the Candy Kingdom, and he's with Bubblegum, and she's running all these tests on him. He's literally poisoned, literally dying. But at the same time, she mentions that the poison is also keeping him alive, which is kind of weird. And another nostalgic part for me in this episode was when all the princesses started bum rushing the castle. Seeing Muscle Princess and seeing LSP being LSP is hilarious. I love seeing that. I really love seeing all the princesses get together, and they actually end up getting the princesses to kiss Finn while he's unconscious, which was kind of weird, and they make mention of it in the episode. Simon definitely brings up how weird this feels, having these princesses kind of come on to Finn and kiss him while he's dying and unconscious, because they think it's going to be like a whole revive the prince, he's unconscious, wake him up with a true love's kiss. And we actually get a appearance from Flame Princess. She pops in this cool scene where she's in armor, and she gives Finn a kiss, and it's this epic magical thing. And it also kind of hit me a little bit, I'll be honest, when she whispered to Finn that she really did love him. And I remember the days of Finn fawning over Flame Princess and all the stuff that he went through with that relationship. So her whispering that she actually did love him was kind of like a coming to full circle moment, I think, with that relationship. Even though they're not meant to be together at all, that's pretty clear. But it was still nice to see that. In this episode, we also had gotten some scenes from Cosmic Owl and Prismo and the Scarab, where they're talking about the multiverse and all that confusing storytelling there, and why Huntress, because they actually were betting, Prismo and Cosmic Owl, they're watching Huntress struggle, and they were making bets on whether she was gonna live or die. And it's kind of weird. But also the Scarab is trying to explain, or trying to get an explanation as to what's going on here. Like, this is not right. The multiverse wasn't meant to be this way. And Prismo and Cosmic Owl are just like, they're being chill about it. It's like, we can't control this, and it's not our problem. So they're kind of just watching what happens. Cosmic Owl actually leaves to meet up with Big Destiny to be in Big Destiny's dream. And actually, it's kind of a creepy scene where Big Destiny gets killed by one of his kids or one of his gang members. You know, if you remember Big D from the Finn the Human, Jake the Dog, you know, episodes back from, I believe, season 5, way back. But it's kind of a creepy horror movie-esque scene where he gets killed. And that's how the episode ends. And there's so much to talk about when it comes to the theories there, like the meaning, the symbolism. But I think for me, the major point of this episode was the relationships and how we treat relationships as people. We have Fionna trying to make something out of nothing because she's lonely or because she feels a connection to someone that it really isn't that into her. And then we have Cake trying to establish a relationship while also trying to maintain her relationship with Fionna by giving her advice and trying to be there for her. Huntress doing everything she can to save Finn's life. And then we also have Hunter, who's trying to be as respectful as possible to Fionna. He's trying to be there for Fionna, but also he's such a nice guy, such a beautiful dude, doesn't want to take advantage of her, and he wants things to be copacetic. So I see all the dynamics, you know, of the relationships and the themes in this episode, and I really had a good time with it. Very nostalgic episode for me, very romantic episode as well, but at the same time, very thought-provoking. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe, leave a comment giving me your thoughts, and what did you think this episode was mainly supposed to be about, or what are your thoughts on the episode in general? Thank you.